Hey, good, Catherine. How are you? Yeah, good. You're on the live.
How are we?
As Catherine Cumming MP, independent member for the Western Suburbs.
Having my
Game of Thrones.
Having a mummy cocktail.
Was it like the Game of Thrones in there today, was it?
It's always like the Game of Thrones. I'm like actually looking at like Star Wars. I'm a Star Wars kind of tracker.
Okay.
So you know the dark side of the Force.
Yes.
And the dark side.
Yeah, so who's Darth Vader in this equation?
Oh, we know who Darth Vader is. And Andrew. Who are Yodas?
Who is it?
I take my inspiration from
Catherine, people want to know, is the bill going to pass?
Yes, it will, unfortunately.
Can I just...
Got the numbers.
I'll just turn it around.
Oh, so, okay.
I'm just here with Catherine Cumming MP, so I'm going to ask her, for those of you asking questions whether the bill is going to pass or not, I'll just put it on Catherine here.
Yeah, hello. So, I can actually read. Wait a minute, I'll put my glasses on. Okay. I can read the questions. Thank you thank you. I really do appreciate that. I've got this weird light. Yes, it will probably pass on Thursday. So we've finished all the debate for the people who are live streaming. Tomorrow is non-government business day. So there are three. I'm just because of the light. That's okay. I'm just mindful of the steps. Light's horrible. So tomorrow will be non-government business day, and non-government business day virtually means that the opposition and people in the crossbench will bring up a motion. So there's three non-government business motions tomorrow. One's about IBAC from the opposition. The second one is around loneliness from Fiona Patton. And there's a third one that is from Tanya Maxwell, which is the Darren Hinch Justice Party, and it's around family violence. So that's what the debate on Wednesday is going to be roughly all about, because they get an hour and a half slot. So we won't be debating or talking about the pandemic bill tomorrow. On Thursday, that's when we actually start to discuss the actual bill, which is the committee stage. And what we will all be doing is there's a lot of amendments, so we'll be putting out amendments, and virtually clause by clause we'll actually ask questions, bring up what we're proposing in the way of amendments. I've proposed an amendment.
Can you share that with us, or?
Yeah. No. It's been tabled.
Okay.
I didn't realise. First time today, they from the clerks. There's actually a secret box that sits under the clerk, and when we have amendments, they put it into this little box, and then until I speak to it, they actually bring it out the box. So I've been here for 3 years, and it's the first time I realised that that's what they did. I actually thought they laid them on the table, but I didn't realise that. So that's something new I've learnt. Live and learn every day. So my amendments are around what I believe is that rather than them going to SARC or one of the government committees, I was proposing that they could possibly set up an independent committee. My glasses. An independent committee, and this independent committee could be anyone, but experts. So in a time of pandemic, what I'm proposing, from my knowledge of local government and emergency planning, what you would actually put up would be, in a pandemic situation, you probably get like the head of MAV, and MAV is the Municipal Association of Victoria, which is all the councils. Then you can get any experts on this actual panel, all independent people, and they would be sitting rather than a government-led and controlled committee. And then from that, the information would be shared immediately in my mind, in my amendments, so that when you actually get the health advice during a pandemic, by sharing it throughout the community immediately, you would hope that people would see the health advice and be able to value add. Currently, we haven't seen any health advice. It's all been sitting here. We've never been given anything. So one of the points that I made tonight was, say between what the health advice probably from the Chief Health Officer or even maybe whoever, the Minister for Health, they could have changed it between the time that they put up their directions. We've never known that. We've never actually seen how they actually come up with it and how they could actually possibly be changing it. But it would be, in my mind, value added if the community had that communication, or the local government had that communication. Because one of my big criticisms, Rukshan, is that there's spent a lot of money popping up a tent, say at High Point, and then people getting rapid tested, possibly with disease going into High Point, where with that money, if they actually gave it to the local government, say in Maribyrnong or whatever the community was, they could have actually been using all those community halls, and that money, say if they weren't fit for purpose, could have been spent by painting it or by adding an additional toilet, those kind of things. And then we would have had lasting infrastructure in the 79 councils that everyone could have used for the next 20 or 30 years. But by using this wasteful, popping up a tent in a car park at West Footscray, rather than actually opening up all the community facilities because they needed to do testing, so they've never used their arm, which is local government. They've never used this throughout this pandemic. They've never, with the money that they could have been using, spending it on lasting infrastructure, they've been quite wasteful in the way of putting up pop-up tents, being quite wasteful. What I made the points were they used PPE, which was not fit for purpose. There are a lot of things that this government, throughout this pandemic, could have actually spent the money more wisely. Could have spent it on rapid testing, but no. The Chief Health Officer said, no, we can't do rapid testing. We have to do, what's the test that they prefer? PCR. Oh no, that was gold standard, and which took 48 hours or 5 days, rather than a rapid test under your tongue. 10 minutes later, you know you're okay for 72 hours. All around the world, they've been using it. My family's place in Germany, they've been using it since January this year. So for myself, I would have loved to understand all the amount of time that we didn't need to be in lockdown because of the Chief Health Officer, Professor BS's decisions and Daniel Andrews' decisions when they decided, well, no, we can't do rapid testing. Wait one moment. People could have been visiting nursing homes. They could have been, going to funerals. They could have had square meterage and all the other BS around face masks. We could have just been told, well, you need to wear them at these times if you can't physically distance, but everybody's walking around with them and there's nobody around. It has blown my mind, the fear campaign that they've actually done to the community, that somehow you're going to catch it when you're not in enough distance. So 90% of the community is vaccinated. That's their choice, hopefully. They haven't been, So for myself, I've been watching this and really annoyed at the government's fear, their language, the propaganda, the mainstream media, repeating the lies, like repeating what comes out of his mouth rather than saying, hey, wait a moment, I'm not going to repeat it.
Like evaluating it, being critical.
Well, I understand.
Not criticism, but just like critically evaluating.
No. But I totally get they're under the pump. They're meant to grab grabs. They haven't got enough time. These young journalists. So that's not an excuse. That's just me saying that I understand how journalists operate from my years in local government, but I used to deal with weekly papers, not daily papers, not daily grabs. But for myself, I'm absolutely so happy all this independent media has come on, that we can have long interviews and long conversations rather than you're just going to get a grab and it's going to go on to the tally and maybe somebody hears it.
It's more organic and real.
It is, it's totally. So we're living in a wonderful time where the shadows have been exposed in the way of, I don't think they understand years ago they could shred things. Now it's all in the cloud.
Yes.
How they used to operate in the way of speaking to the community as it was a campaign. No, that's not going to keep cutting it any longer. They're going to have to actually
Engage directly, maybe.
amen to that. So it would be wonderful to see them come up and start speaking to you and just having these conversations happily live streaming and not worried because everyone has a mobile phone. Happy for, and for me, like I've always said, like I own a mobile phone as a tracking device. Yeah, I totally get that. So my privacy is already diminished by me owning a phone. But for me, in my heart, I understand there's people in my community who can't afford a phone. So why can't they use a piece of paper to walk into somewhere? Oh no, we have to have digital passports. So it's not right for all the poor, the vulnerable, the homeless in my community, in our community, that are not going to be part of this society. Not because they're vaccinated or not, because they can't actually prove it or otherwise, because we're digitalised. So there's so many things that I've been witnessing. Wish that they could have done better, hoped that they would speak to me directly. I used to have a very good relationship with Jenny McCarthy's, and Martin Foley, he's a lovely man. It would have been great that Martin would have spoken to me as soon as he started becoming the health minister and having those meetings and conversations, but he has chosen not to. He's only chosen to speak to 3 people. And yeah, well, we've got this pandemic bill that, which is, it's not a bill, it's just amendments to the Health and Wellbeing Act, and it would have been great that they wrote something separately and had conversations with everyone in the non-government, the community and the opposition to formulate that. I could talk all night.
No.
Oh, you know what I mean?
But no, thank you for your time today. I really
anyway,
appreciate it.
and one more question, I'll have a read. I'll put the glasses on. Another...
It says here,
Okay.
Catherine.
It's your little finger. Someone's got your fingerprint now, Rukshan.
I can't see it. I saw one directly addressed to you, but
Okay.
they moved to Catherine. He's on our side.
Oh, yep, that's right.
And has been in Parliament since 9 a.m. today. Please give her a break.
Don't worry. On these weeks, I'm used to having 5 hours, 5-hour sleep, so 15 hours. My children are asleep and they're looked after, so I'm not worried about any of those things.
But it's true, Catherine. Yeah, you've been here since 9. I appreciate you coming out to talk to the people. I appreciate that.
But on the end,
and talking with independent media like us, I appreciate that as well.
But also too, it's important to recognise your wonderful coming out, as well as people who are staying here all night. So, God bless.
Thank you, Catherine. See you. So that was Catherine Cumming MP, Independent Member of Parliament.